coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
We've got it. This transmission is coming to you.
Waging war on corruption.
All right, you are go.
It's Alex Jones, coming to you live from the front lines of the info war.
We see the Earth, this beautiful planet, infested with control freaks who have combined themselves into organized gangs. And they've taken control of most of our governments and corporations. It's time we awaken to the real threat and restored liberty planet-wide, what I call 1776 worldwide. Thank you for joining us. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday, the 20th day of May, 2012. We are accelerating towards Bilderberg 2012, and it is in Chantilly, Virginia, where they held it 4 years ago. I've confirmed that through two different sources. To my knowledge, they've never moved a venue. They may, though, because there is massive protests being prepared, and a bunch of mainstream media are covering it, Politico and others today. And they admit they're real, and they do shape policy, but we're still conspiracy theorists. I'm still a conspiracy theorist for being right, for reporting on it for 17 years, for being accurate, for being there 4 years ago when Obama and Hillary were inside making a deal, when national news was, where have they gone for a day? We're there calling media. They're here, Bilderberg. They're like, we're not allowed to report on that. But Bilderberg has no power. Media wasn't allowed to report on it. I was told that from national news sources. But they don't have any power. So that is coming up. Bilderberg agenda attracts national exposure. Politico, Rubio, and the Bilderberg conspiracy, all at Infowars.com right now. Every day, most of the news in here is stuff I've IM'd or already read or looked at before I get into the office, but every day they give me stacks of stuff now I hadn't seen yet. Here's the London Independent. Britain arrested in Thailand after being found with roasted human babies. A whole bunch of them roasted and wrapped in gold leaf to be sold to rich people for satanic rituals. It's like, used to I saw this stuff every few months. Now it's every 2 days. Remember one a few days ago, last week? Thousands of pills filled with powdered human baby flesh discovered by customs officials in South Korea. I'm going to tie that in with this little stack first when we come back. Normalcy bias. How does that tie in with Stockholm Syndrome and learned helplessness? Because people develop these psychological labels, which have a lot of reality based in them. They're not just theories. They've been demonstrated and observed and are real syndromes. But then the syndromes, a lot of times in college, they have debates about, what do you think of this theory or that theory? And so many times it's a combo of both. That's full spectrum analysis. But to understand how people go into tyrannies, how they put up with more and more, how societies fall, we're going to be looking at normalcy bias. Stockholm Syndrome and learned helplessness coming up, and how it ties into the roasted baby traffic, which is big. I mean, why is he in trouble for some roasted babies? I mean, the Journal of Pediatrics, says we should give our kids mercury. It's good for their brains. The Journal of Bioethics has come out and said, kill kids up to age 3 and kill grandma. Bill Gates says that. I mean, what's wrong with that? And that's the idea. Well, the problem was they weren't a big cosmetic maker in France, putting melted down babies in their products, or Pepsi with fetus flavoring. Yeah, I first saw that 2 years ago. I didn't believe it. And then it came out in court. It was true. And the federal regulators said, yeah, the shareholders can't block this. There's nothing like fetus flavoring. Remember I said about 2 weeks ago on air, I said it's like the golden child where that demon is trying to feed the child the blood of a kid they've sacrificed under the oatmeal. And the demon says, you will eat it. And then sure enough, here they are in satanic rituals, wanting to be infected by it and eat the roasted babies. And it's all in the article, London Independent. You will eat it. But see, that's not life imitating art. That's art imitating life. You will drink your Pepsi. you will become defiled. We'll be right back. We have a very special worldwide broadcast lined up for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Sunday, the 20th day of May, 2012. And we're going to be here for the next 2 hours as we are every Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. And then I'm back weekdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. Now, coming up in about 30 minutes, Dr. Webster Tarpley, who has written 2 books, including the unauthorized biography of Barack Hussein Obama, is going to be joining us. Dr. Tarpley is what you'd call a progressive, but he, day one, said, yes, Obama really was, the evidence shows, born in Kenya. And then we also have Dr. Corsi joining us for 30 minutes in the second hour. He is, of course, a famous conservative who helped swift boat John Kerry. And he has been documenting and traveling the world to prove it that Barack Obama was born in Kenya. Now, again, I would rather focus on who finances Obama, on Fast and Furious, on all the crimes he's committed, the carbon taxes, shutting down coal power plants and giving waivers to his friends, government socialist health care, 2,000 waivers to major companies. They don't have to buy it, but you do. Serious economic espionage and discrimination against the American people, launching wars without congressional approval, and saying he's under UN command, violating Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution, serving as the first U.S. president or anyone sitting in the executive as the head of the Security Council, totally illegal. Those are bona fide issues that he should be impeached over. But if you look at the birther issue, it's true. He was not born here. His name's not even Barack Obama. It's Barry Soetoro. And I remember reading that 4 years ago when Tarpley was covering it, and he had the documents, but I had trouble believing it. And then they said, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. And then a couple of years ago, they went, oh, his name was Barry Soetoro. He did change his name to that. And he did go to the mosque. And I'm not saying it's bad to be a Muslim, but he lied about not being a Muslim. He was. And he gave up his U.S. citizenship to become an Indonesian citizen. You had to at the time. He is an Indonesian citizen. And then it turned out that his grandmother did say he was born in Kenya. It's all true. And I saw the media for years say there's no such thing as a long-form certificate. Here it is. And I knew from having children and having to get the receipt of the long form and the long form to get a passport, I knew that that was a receipt. Plus, I washed mine one time and had to get the original. But before I could do that, I had to get the receipt that you get from the Bureau of Vital Statistics. So I knew that that wasn't the full birth certificate. And they were talking to the American people like they were dumb. But that didn't work because everybody knew, no, there's a receipt that you have a birth certificate, and then there's an actual real copy of the birth certificate. So then they released the long form, and then it's fake and got proven across the board as fake. I mean, here's just one anomaly. It had over 50. It used a fake computer font that looks like typewriter, but all the letters of the similar type were exactly the same. And with a typewriter, every time it splats down on the ribbon, you push it with different degrees of force each time. It hits a different area of the ribbon. It hits a different area of the paper. Each one is like a snowflake or fingerprint. It's different. Well, the C's, the A's, the T's, everything was identical. It just looked like a typewriter strike. It's fake. Okay? It's fake. 100% it's fake. Sheriff Arpaio's people look at it. They go, yeah, it's fake. The selective service card is fake. He's got a fake Social Security number of a dead woman in Connecticut. That's been confirmed. The State Department confirmed his dad wasn't his dad and threw him out of the country. I mean, this really even freaks me out because, you know why, folks? They can blackmail him with this info. They can blackmail him with this info. So we're going to dedicate about half the broadcast today or more to this because it's true. His name's Barry Soetoro. He's an Indonesian citizen. That's undebatable. And there's fake birth certificates. And why am I raising this? Oh, I forgot. I was just giving you the backstory. As you know, on Thursday, it came out. And within 1 hour, the White House responded. Within 1 hour. Breitbart group dug through it. They don't want to get Breitbarted, so they said, no, we're not saying this means he was born in Kenya. Don't kill us, don't kill us. They had to preface with that. Don't kill us, don't Arkansas us, don't Breitbart us. You know how we know they killed him? Within an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, they announced it was a heart attack, heart attack. And then the coroner died. But side issue, the point is they're like, don't suicide us, but his literary agent, his agent, for 16 years, 9 months, we've looked at the actual numbers, in hundreds of publications, hundreds, including Harvard Law Review, said Obama was born in Kenya, then lived in Indonesia, then Hawaii. You're like, well, why is there the birth announcement in the newspaper? If your mother and your grandmother are CIA, which has now been confirmed, absolute fact, and you're born overseas, you want them to have that birthright. Extremely valued, even today, but especially then. So you put a fake birth announcement in. That's the oldest trick in the book. But he was born in Kenya. And Dr. Corsi, of course, went over to Kenya a couple years ago and got arrested and put on house arrest for a day until he could get put back on an aircraft. And then we later learned, this is in Corsi's new book, Where's the Birth Certificate? I should add, available at Infowars.com. And on there, he has the copies, and this has been confirmed by the White House. Bush, when Hillary was saying Obama was born in Kenya when they were running against each other, that's where this all came from. Because, of course, the Clintons have all the FBI files on people. They're still running Washington. It's like their third administration right now under Obama. It wasn't just because she's nasty and mean. It's because she knew that was true. So she had her surrogates release that. Well, Bush wanted to know, so he had the U.S. ambassador to Kenya. This is declassified. This came out after the election, though. Go over there and say, I want the records. They went and looked. They said they've been cut out. It appears to be criminal. Folks, you don't cut out. Did you catch that? You don't cut out something that wasn't there. They don't need to cut my birth records of being born in Brazil out because I was born in Dallas, Texas, 1974. You don't cut records out. You know, they say, oh, John McCain, he wasn't born in America. That's actually true. He wasn't born in the U.S., but he was born on a U.S. military base. So then they throw that back out at us. It doesn't matter. I didn't like McCain either. McCain isn't the president. McCain isn't compromised. And McCain was born on a military base. Born on a ship, which is a military base. People go, oh, well, there wasn't a base in Panama yet. Well, there was actually a Marine Corps base, but side issue, was born on a ship. But that part doesn't matter, because I get these emails and see these comments of coming into the office about, well, what about McCain? McCain isn't the president. There hadn't been a giant cover-up of this. His publicist, the one he's still got, his main publicist, turns out in promo stuff to get Dreams of My Father published. They said this. Ladies and gentlemen, for 16 plus years, he said he was born in Kenya. And within hours, they come out and go, oh, this must be the source of the false rumor. No one ever knew about all these hundreds of publications. You know, but he could end all this right now. All of his Harvard, all of his other 2 colleges he went to, all of his State Department programs he was involved in, all of his records, high school, everything. It's not this way with other presidents. They're all sealed under national security. So just release it. Just release it. Release it, but they won't. Okay, I'm done talking about that. Politico is talking about Infowars.com. So is Business Insider.